Babe, with a slope, concrete slabs are not as easy as a flat site.
We just dig, and then just put it on the ground.
Ah. I've heard that you lose as much as 80% heat through the edges of your slab.
People talk about as like, oh, we have such crappy houses and all this kind of stuff. But no one's actually wanting to build any better.
Nervous at all, Wade?
Take a moment to trust it when you've got that much weight going into it.
Previously, last week we broke the back of foundation. We finished our last footing over there. Epic milestone.
Cheers.
Next week's topic, where we meet the owners of Megaform, a second generation Kiwi business, and I talk about how I found this product and decided to incorporate it on that build up there. When you're tackling a foundation here in New Zealand, there's two main ways: timber subfloors and concrete slabs. On the section nobody wanted, we built a timber subfloor.
And it's very, very, very noisy. Especially with 5 stompy-footed people.
But it's so easy to build.
But it's so very noisy.
We'd have a floor down by now if we did a timber subfloor.
Several months later.
I believe it will be worth it.
Yeah, but babe, with a slope, concrete slabs are not as easy as a flat site.
We just dig, and then just put it on the ground.
Ah, well, yeah, it looks so easy on those plans.
I'm sure it's the easier option.
You reckon? Okay, we'll put a concrete slab down, and that's going to suck out all the heat.
Why?
Because it's going to have this big cold face on the edge. I've heard that you lose as much as 80% heat through the edges of your slab.
I reckon you're going to figure it out.
So I guess it's settled then. We're doing a concrete slab.
As if we were going to do anything else.
And that means we're going to have to figure out a way to make it warm and cozy. Have you met Nicole? Nicole.
Sorry, just birthing my water bottle. It has to be warm. Otherwise, I won't live there.
I'll work it out. Oh, these are quarters. How heavy are they?
Not that heavy. Like walking up and down a hill.
This masonry wall here is going to stay as masonry. And then this wall here, and this wall here are going to change to Megaform.
Of the
Wrestled with a number of design ideas, and where do you put the polystyrene? Do you put the concrete blocks in? Do you put the XPS on the outside? Do you put it on the inside? And then I remembered my very first build as an apprentice, all the way up the north end of Upper Hutt in Timaroa. We built an entire garage basement out of this stuff, and I thought, right, it's time to give that a crack. So jumped on the phone, talked to Megaform, and the rest is history. We're now on site putting it in that build up there. Today we've got a very special guest in the studio, Phil. Phil's invented a building product used here in New Zealand called Megaform. It's an ICF system. Now for the uneducated of us, what does ICF stand for?
Insulated concrete formwork. So it's really just a shuttering system, but using polystyrene, which maximises the insulation. The product comes flat pack. So we just take out the two sides, put them on a flat table. That's important. We don't want the block to be assembled out of skew. We want it to be flat and square. We put the two end bridges in, just start them in 50 millimetres. Just to that height will do, just to line it up.
It's like building with Lego on site, real life Lego for builders.
Yeah, the expert.
This reminds me of my very first job as an apprentice. Exactly the same principle as the concrete masonry blocks up there, and goes on the exact same footing. The beauty of this product is that it is insulated, and so by the time we come up and we put polystyrene under the slab, we will have a fully insulated concrete slab. That's a real easy thing to achieve on a flat site. All you need to do is some hot edge, and the rest is history. So just these plastic clips, and you've designed this yourself in a computer.
Yep, and invented the locking system on there, which is quite interesting in there. It's can go either way.
So you taught yourself CAD to make all this?
Yes. Then we simply just go, once we get that done, we can just go along and just close down the locking point. Yeah, that's locked. Yeah, I've locked in.
So that's it?
That's it,
Easy as that.
ready to be installed. When we come to the foundation, we find the highest point and we set the corners up, and you'll set those up on wedges or plastic packers, maybe 5 or 3 mil off the ground, and then we'll just put some foam under it, just 100 mil strips of foam that we can always break off and readjust if we need to, and then we'll assemble the blocks and then just place them in between. And set them to a string line, so that's set the bottom layer up straight, plumb and square, and that's how we want it. Then from then on we can place the first bar reinforcing horizontal,
this is for the block wall that's down the bottom. So I'm just cutting corners at the moment at 1600 overall length, and then 800 will be where the bend is. So they'll lay the block here, they'll lay in between on top of the spaces that they have.
The starters may come up, say, around about 1 metre, so we can put several rows on, and then we can place the vertical starter bars, we can tie those off. Then we install the propping system, but on Josh's wall, he's only about 3 or 4 rows high on difficult ground, so he's placed a 4x2 round and just built a stud wall structure on it to support it with some angle braces coming off, and that's worked fine.
And like a normal 3604 slab.
Correct.
How you doing, Caleb?
Putting these on at the moment, and then we'll put a top plate on top, plumb them up. Not too hard out, get them pretty good, and yeah, that's about it.
So we've just shot down the bottom plate to brace the side of the poly blocks, and so I'm just marking out for our studs, I guess. It's almost like building a frame to brace the whole poly block so it doesn't move while we pour it. And then I'll give a cut list to my other apprentice, and he can cut a whole bunch for me, and we'll start setting this one up.
And of course you can put your string line, you set your string lines 10 mil off at the top, on the top block, and then you can just adjust the propping if anything needs to be adjusted in your settlements of that.
For example, if we done this one,
Yeah.
did you want to
Pull it until it touches.
touches this, eh?
Yeah.
Alright. Needs to come to me. Go there.
Yo, look at that. It is Thursday, the 7th of August, and first row of Megaform blocks are going down. So the height of the wall we're building here at the biggest point will be just over 1.8 meters. So that's borderline where you would need to either just use good old timber bracing. It's exactly like building a 3604 slab where you build your own shutters. Builders. You've seen me do it on the section nobody wanted. I've done it tons of times as part of my apprenticeship where that was how we used to build foundations all the time. It's kind of taking those old skills and applying them to a new method. Yo man, that's all good. You only need to screw the middle and the top or something, eh? Oh yeah, I see now. When I look at this, I don't just see formwork. In my mind I can already see a slab there. So then I get excited right now about the future slab because for some reason this triggers like, oh yeah, that's actually going to happen. Because I know formwork equals slab in a certain amount of time, probably 5 weeks and 4 days mark that we'll stand on a slab. Or maybe 9 weeks.
We were once told that, okay, the insulation should only be on the outside of concrete for a thermal mass, but the Megaform ICF with 65 mm of poly each side provides an enhanced thermal mass and active wall. Technically, the polystyrene thicknesses with the R value of the concrete is around about R4, but the performance testing is R8. We're getting this enhanced thermal mass, which is maintaining a steady, nice warm environment inside the house.
Because the concrete's a thermal mass, right?
Yeah.
And so it stays warmer for longer and then the polystyrene stops that heat escaping, is that?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Yo, it's Monday the 18th of August, just popped in to check if we're on track for a pour, and good news, we are. Now my head is filled with backfill ideas and how we're going to solve that problem. Anyway, you have a look around. What's the thing about Megaform you're the most proud of?
I just think that anyone can really put it up. It's minimal training and it's hard to mark it up. It's just finesse, and if you do the basics right, straight plumb and square levelling, chalk lining, put into a line, like you guys have done. You know, it's sometimes I'll, as I mentioned earlier, I showed you some videos of the walls being poured. I only spoke to these people 5 minutes on the phone. They rang me 2 or 3 times for some just small questions, and I went down there. They'd just done these amazing jobs, which you'll put up.
Yeah, I would say that's my experience is that you're a Kiwi builder on the other end of the phone. So when a Kiwi builder on site rings you up, you can cut to the chase real quick.
Exactly. Yeah. My vocabulary's not huge. I got to be straight to the point, and that's what I am. Yeah, straight up.
It's great. It's a strength.
And that's the way that.
But that's what the builders love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
credit to all of
Well,
the block.
perfect timing for the concrete pump. Got backfilling solutions on the job, best pump in town.
Nervous at all, Wade?
Never used the system before. Take a moment to trust it when you've got that much weight going into it. It's holding up. It's holding up well.
How much concrete today?
We estimate about 17 cube. Woo. It's a lot of block.
So the pour's underway, we're off to a good start. Everything I've been taught about concrete is there's so much hydraulic pressure from what I understand, I think that's the right term, but so cool that this is strong enough to hold it and becomes a permanent thermal feature of the home. I can't wait to snap and I'm in my warm, dry, quiet home and this poly block is added to it.
Gotta look the biz. Gotta look the biz, mate.
Represent.
Yeah.
As always, we're filling it with the low carbon Firth Eco Mix. That's the one where they use things like old tyres and old treated timber, put it all in a kiln and use all that energy to make cement.
Yeah, well I noticed it more on this wall than I did on that.
You excited?
So excited. It's a big milestone, but I'm a little bit nervous because now I have to get to work for a couple of weeks backfilling while Wade takes a break.
Will you work in the rain?
Yeah, I'll work all day, every day until it's done.
Okay, let's see.
Do you think New Zealanders are fast or slow to adapt to new methods?
Never used the system before?
I think as a migrant nation, I think we are slow to adapt to new things.
As builders, we stick to our same way of doing things.
Yeah, so that's the biggest problem we would face generally in our industry is just education side of things. Like you say, we would normally be working with timber frame, in the commercial world a lot more tilt panel, so we sit outside of those kind of areas. So the education's a massive part of, you know, how to promote our system and how to, go forward with it.
Yeah. People, I feel like, want to take a punt, but are always worried about like what can go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's people's money. Time is money. Don't get it right, it could cost you, and that's everyone's perception. But there's a couple of ways with our system that you can do, multiple blocks high and then multiple pours. There's a couple of ways to, make it simpler. It's just building better. Like the thing that you hear on the news or people talk about is like, oh, we have such crappy houses and all this kind of stuff.
Building inspectors are warning New Zealand's next leaky buildings scandal could already be upon us.
Yeah, we have a huge issue with our homes, damp and cold.
But no one's actually wanting to build any better. And the biggest problem is also and this is like what I talked about as well, there's no valuation. So like if you build a 90mm frame and this guy builds like a full passive house on the same street, they're going to be valued in a similar aspect. He's spend a whole lot more money on trying to make his house warmer, more comfortable, that kind of stuff, but it's not being recognised. So I think that's where the biggest problem is with building better is, yes, sometimes it adds a more cost, but it's just not seen an evaluation point. So people are trying to get houses up out the door to make money.
Yo, sign up squad, you've made it to the end of another video. Thanks so much for watching. And thank you to Phil and Nicole and the Megaform team for not only being a part of this project, but for coming out to site. The Phil tick of approval. To see your product in action and getting filled. It was a real special day, not only for Nicole and I, but for Wade as well.
And didn't find them too heavy.
Not even close.
For me, the decision to switch to Megaform was both easy and hard. Easy because it made sense to me. As I've said before, on the very first slab I ever built, we formed a poly block wall on the back of the garage, so I was semi-familiar with the product and the process. Hard though, because it's easy to keep doing the same thing over and over. Like, let's face it, being innovative, trying new ways is hard. And you got to know when to do it, and you got to know what to do it with, and just as important, when not to do it. In this particular instance here, it was like one decision led to the other, and this is often the case. Sometimes finding a new way is not what you set out to do, it's something that's forced upon you. I knew that I wanted to slow it down and find an appropriate solution. And it wasn't until I took some time out on my holiday that I had the brain space to chunk through that. And so there's a few important lessons in there. Know when to innovate, know when to not, know when you don't have the answer, and find a way to give yourself the time and space to work out that answer. And if you're not sure, don't push ahead. And if you're not sure, don't push ahead until it's really clear which way to go. Next week, I'm back on the tools, back on the mini digger, and we are backfilling. Just been ordering a bunch of materials for waterproofing, drainage metal, talking to the engineer, everything's locked in. I can't wait to get stuck in and start raising up that final floor level. It's so exciting. The finish line is in sight and I can feel it. As always, see you every Saturday, 5 p.m. And if this is the first video you're watching, make sure you watch all the other ones we've made.